So, Alicia Watkins has been with the Department of Social Services since 1997, and she
Wow.
has experience in paternity, establishment, enforcement, modification, call center outreach, and engagement. She has provided grand family organizations with resources and information relating to services provided by the Missouri Family Support Program. Alicia currently serves as a program supervisor for the Child Support Outreach Unit, supervising outreach and engagement unit.
All right. Well, I am Alicia Watkins, and I have been here since 1997. I am so glad to be here to be able to provide you guys your resources because my mom was also a kinship caregiver for my niece and nephew, and she had me. A lot of people don't have, access to the information that you may need that the Family Support Division may be able to help you with. All right, this presentation is to help any kinship caregiver understand what happens when you want to open a case or have an open case through the Missouri Child Support Program. This presentation does not cover all circumstances and is not meant to be legal advice. The Child Support Program does not represent either party in a case. The program represents the state of Missouri and acts in the best interest of the child or children. Our topics of discussion today are general information, paternity and establishment, child support, enforcement of child support, modifications, and termination of child support. The kinship caregiver has the option to open up a child support case if the caregiver is not receiving TANF, that's temporary assistance for needy families, or the children are not in the custody of the Children's Division. If there is not an open TANF case, the collected child support amount would be sent to the kinship caregiver. The kinship caregiver would never be ordered to provide child support. When establishing a new child support order, the kinship caregiver's income will be used along with the parent's income. That's just to determine the child support amount. Again, you never be ordered to pay child support. The child support program will locate parents, verify paternity of the child or children, establish and enforce child support or medical support orders. Who's eligible for child support services? The Missouri Family Support Division provides child support services to mothers, fathers, kinship caregivers, and kinship caregivers include grandparents, extended family, loved ones, cousins, anyone who's taking care of that child. FSD also provides support services to adult children, alleged fathers are fathers that paternity has not been established against, and legal representatives of a deceased custodial party. Anyone can request child support services by filling out an application. Mandatory referrals are made if someone is receiving cash assistance, which is TANF. Usually when you apply for TANF, that is part of the packet at the office is an application for child support. Also, when you apply for Medicaid, or if the child is in the custody of the state. When receiving TANF, the parent ordered to pay child support is required to pay those funds to the state of Missouri. The parent receiving support is required to assist Missouri in enforcing a child support order and cannot receive child support and TANF at the same time. When TANF is active, child support is assigned to the state. Paternity and establishment. Paternity can be established by marriage. In Missouri, if the parents are married, the husband can automatically be presumed to be the father of a child. It's established by paternity affidavit. If the parents are not married, they can sign a paternity affidavit, which is a legally binding document that is filed with the Bureau of Vital Records. Paternity can also be established by court order. The courts can determine someone to be the legal father, or child support can be determined through genetic testing. And genetic testing is typically free through the Family Support Division. We won't grant a genetic test if paternity has previously been established somewhere else. Child support is a court-ordered obligation to help care for a child or children. Child support may include any of the following: financial obligation of child support, medical support or health insurance coverage, and provisions for payment of arrearages. Arrearages are also known as past due support. Child support may be ordered to be paid monthly, semi-monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly. If paid by an income withholding order, that's the form that we send to the employers, the employer can adjust the frequency to match their pay cycle, even if it doesn't match the child support order. So payments can come, they can be received in any increments throughout the month, as long as the obligation is met by the end of that month. So some people may call and say it's inconsistent. They might get $20 one week, $40 one week, and it is basically up to the employer. But if the order is $300 and that is what we receive by the end of that month, then the obligation is met. Enforcement actions used are based on the best interest of the children. Neither party in the case has the right to select what enforcement measures are taken. When payments are delinquent or in arrears, some enforcement actions are automatic. Some enforcement actions are implemented at the discretion of the Family Support Division. Modification. Missouri allows a child support order to be reviewed at any time. That's Missouri law. But the Family Support Division policy allows for modification every 3 years. So if someone wants to request an early review for modification, there has to be a 50% change in either party's income, and it has to be an involuntary change. No one can quit their job and say that they want an early review for modification. It has to be of no fault of their own. The employer must go under. You may get laid off, or something may happen physically, you may become disabled or something like that. Then that's involuntary. But if you choose to quit your job, then you have to wait the 3 years. Or the other party will have to wait the 3 years before they can request a modification to get a lower support amount. To request an early review, you can also qualify if we're adding or removing a child from the order, or if there is no child support obligation. So if the original order only was for medical and there was no child support ordered, at any time you can say, okay, now I want child support ordered to this case, and then we'll go in and add a monetary amount. Okay, child support orders may be considered for modification by either party sending in a written request. Requesting a modification is not a guarantee for change. Your request may be denied, or if granted, may not result in change in the child support obligation. So just because you send in a letter doesn't mean your order is going to change. We'll have to review it. If it doesn't meet the 3 years criteria, then it'll be denied. If it does meet the criteria and we review it and we recalculate it and the child support amount does not change by 20%, it will be denied. So if the order is $300 and it only changes by $10 or $20, it's not a 20% change, the Family Support Division will not proceed with a modification. Termination of support, emancipation. Child support is normally enforced until the age of 18 in Missouri, unless the child continues education after high school. They have to be enrolled in some sort of higher education by October 1st of the graduation year. They are not allowed to take any breaks in between. If the child continues their education, child support can be enforced until the age of 21. Any past due support that's owed is still due and must be paid in full, no matter how old the child is. The child support program cannot assist with civil matters. Missouri has no authority or jurisdiction over divorce petitions, custody, or visitation. These issues have to be settled in court. Kinship Caregiver Child Support Access. The child support program has collaborated with ParentLink to provide direct child support services to you. Direct access to a child support representative to address child support issues and questions through the ParentLink's Kinship Navigator line. A quarterly child support presentation to ParentLink's informational kinship support group, which is what we're doing today. You have direct access to a child support caseworker attending ParentLink's peer kinship support group meeting following the quarterly informational kinship support group child support presentation. So this is the presentation. Then ParentLink will do a peer kinship support group. I think they're at 5 or 6 at night, and a child support representative will be there. And at the end of that, if you want to speak with that child support worker or you have questions, they will put you in a breakout room. So you're not necessarily discussing your case in front of everybody else. It'll just be you and the worker, and you can ask whatever questions you may have after the peer kinship support group meetings. Again, the child support caseworker will be available to answer general questions in a group setting or case-specific questions in a confidential setting. So the confidential setting is the breakout room. The child support program also has a call center where parents can call and get information on their child support cases. You won't need to call a call center because you will have a direct number to, well, me or whoever, a number that the ParentLink has. So you don't have to worry about the call center. Any questions? If someone's incarcerated, it's kind of, I can't say that you won't get any child support because we do take money off of incarcerated individuals' books. That is the only way we can get money from a person that is incarcerated. And that brings up the modification too. When I said early review, there is also another way that they can request an early review, and that is if they are incarcerated for life, or if we determine they're not going to get out within the minority of the child, then they can request a modification. There is a program that we started to try to assist incarcerated individuals, so when they get out, they're not so much in the hole. So that's why I said they can request a modification if they're going to be incarcerated more than 180 days, I believe. And that might lower their support, but whatever it is, it's still going to build up because it's still.
So the outreach unit. The outreach unit is comprised of 6 different facets. Those facets are, we have parenthood programs, we have pre-parenthood and young adult programs, we have corrections programs, diversion programs, employment programs, and community engagement programs. Our parenthood programs provide both mothers and fathers with supports that they need, whether it's finding employment, housing, food, shelter, anything you can name. Our parenthood programs, typically substance use, legal issues. Our parenthood programs are equipped or have partners that can assist them with those barriers. Our pre-parenthood and young adult programs, however, those take a more proactive approach. Those are where we go into middle schools and high schools across the state, as well as Division of Youth Services facilities, and we provide our pre-parenthood programming to middle school and high school students. And it's based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's typically a 13-week program, and they have 7 weeks of personal development curriculum from things like bullying and human needs and safety and emotions and discovering your true self and things like that that we talk to them about, and they share with our facilitators that go into the classrooms typically once a week. And then we also have 6 weeks of financial curriculum that Junior Achievement provides. Now, that is some of our pre-parenthood programs, but we also have a relationship with Big Brothers Big Sisters as well, and we have things going on with them as far as the ABC Today programs that are in schools. They focus on their academics, behavior, and coursework as well. So through the ABC Today programs, they have a fatherhood prevention program and then a first jobs program. So those are our pre-parenthood programs that we have in our pre-parenthood and young adult program, so that hopefully before they get to our child support program, they've thought about some of the things that they need to do and be before they're thinking about starting a family. We have our corrections programs. We're in about, I believe at this point, 18 different facilities. Some of them are two. We are in both female corrections facilities at both Chillicothe and Vandalia. And we have a worker that goes to all of the facilities, not one, but several workers that go to all 18 facilities. It could be on a monthly basis. It's sometimes on a weekly basis. Whatever that facility requests that they need from us is when we go. And typically, like I said, it can be monthly, it could be quarterly, or it could be weekly. And we have in-person interviews with them where we provide them with real-time information from our child support system. So it could be within a week of them coming into the system or 90 days prior to their release. They are aware of what's going on with their child support case, and they're able to communicate with us that way. We have diversion court programs, and those diversion programs are designed for those who are in the court system and they've been referred. We have exhausted all measures typically at our administrative level. So we have sent withholding orders. We've reported on their credit. We may have suspended their hunting and fishing license. We are not suspending driver's licenses currently. We haven't been for the last about 4 years. And we have we've put liens on bank accounts, workers' comp claims, lottery winnings, of course, not casino per se, but like large lottery winnings, not a scratch off or anything like that. It has to be a fairly large lottery winning that we can withhold. We revoke their passport. And at this point, there is nothing else left for us to do other than send it to the prosecuting attorney's office. And when they get to the prosecuting attorney's office, they can work with one of our community partners there to address their barriers as well before the judge says, okay, hey, you're not complying with this either. Maybe we need to go a step further with criminal non-support or some jail time. So that is not at all what we strive to do or want to do, but that is something that is available to the judge should they get to the point where they just are not doing. So we have those court diversion programs where there is a partner in the courtroom with them, and the partner is reporting to the judge their participation in their program. We have employment programs. We have about 6 of them across the entire state. Those are broken up into regions, and they are our employment partners. They provide all things employment. So if there's a client, whether it's typically a mom or a dad, we refer them to our employment partners, and they assist them with finding work. We have our community engagement, and our community engagement programs catch everyone else. So the veterans, the victims of maybe sexual or physical violence, teen parents, if there's someone who may have a disability or anything like that. We have those community engagement partners that specialize in working with those individuals who are a little bit more specialized in what they need as far as child support is concerned. Whenever we're working with a partner or an organization or a fellow agency, just another state department, we always ask, in your intake process, do you have questions that address child support? And if you don't, consider asking that, because a lot of times it's things that people don't ask That's something that people tend to shy away from. But if you're shying away from it, then that's why you need it, right? Because we don't want it to be something that, oh, we just, brush that off to the side or we hide it under the rug. We want it to be something that's very approachable, just like any other bill that you have every month. We all have bills every month. And we just want child support to be one of those things where, okay, I know that I have it. Let's see what I need to do to work with this agency so I can pay it just like a bill every month. There are some things out there that are true about the child support program and some things that are not. And I would like to think that through our work with our outreach unit, we are, at least being upfront and honest with the general public and our partners and participants about what their specific situation is and how to work through that with the program the way that it is designed.